In this video I'm going to show you the Primal Gear Unlimited compact folding survival bow and how to string it. So I brought a telescoping quiver that I can keep arrows and the bow in. I also keep the stringer and the string for the bow in there as well. So the bow, on the website they tell you just to string it by, well here, I'll show you how it comes apart first. So you fold the limbs out and then you tighten these down very lightly. Once you get, you don't want to over tighten them because it'll hurt the limb. And then I made some marks on here. If you get closer, I'll show you. It's hard to, this is kind of an awkward, hard to tell where the front of the back of the bow is. This is the back. This, as you're holding it, the arrow is going to be on the arrow rest here. Show you. But because it doesn't look like a traditional bow, it's kind of hard to see what's the front and the back of it. So I put a dot here so that I know when I'm stringing it, this dot always faces up towards me. And then I also put arrows on here to show this is the way the arrow goes. And then on that side too, so I can quickly look at it and know this is the part of the bow that's going to be facing outward when I'm shooting. It's going to be the part that's facing up. And this is called the back of the bow. This is the belly. Though that's counterintuitive because you would kind of think of this being the back. So
you're counterintuitive.
That's enough out of you. Anyways, so if my videographer will no longer comment, I'll show you how, because what they instructed to do was to use a stringing method where you'd push it like that string. I've always been told ever since I got into archery that you're never supposed to string a bow that way, or the the traditional way where you go like this and bend it like that. I've never, it's not good for the bow because it puts more stress on the bottom limb and it can wear out your limbs over time. So I wanted to find a stringer that would work, and I found this one on eBay. It's called an OMP Universal Recurve / Longbow Stringer on eBay, and I'll put that in the video description where I found that, as well as the bow, the website I got the bow on, which is Primal Gear Unlimited. So, two other things I noted on the bow here is that this is the top limb, and then also on the string I took my silver Sharpie, which always comes in handy, silver Sharpie. I took that and I also made marks on the string that correspond with the silver up here, so I know that this is the top string. And that's going to be important because you want your knock point to be right when you're stringing it. So what you do is start off by taking the bottom part of the string and putting it on the bow. Get that on there, and then you'll take the stringer, put the bigger end over that, make sure that's secure, and then take your other end of the string and just go ahead and loosen the limb there and fold it in. And put your string on here. Whoops. Now you can go ahead and put that back up, tighten that down real lightly. Then take your other end of your stringer here, push that all the way onto the end here, make sure it's good and secure. Then step in the middle. You can see this evenly puts pressure on the limbs, just like if you're drawing it. you're going to advance this up and into the groove there. Make sure that's secure. And there, now you have it strung. And that's a lot better than doing the bending it over your knee or whatever, because that will damage your bow over time. So that's the best way that I've found to string the Primal Gear folding survival bow. So in the next video, I'll show you how to put the nocking point on. Here we showed you how to string the Primal Gear survival bow, and this is the OMP stringer that I'll put a link to in the video description. This fit perfectly on the limb for this. It was really hard to find a stringer that would work for this bow, but as you can see, this one fits perfectly onto the limb. So I highly recommend that if you get this bow that you purchase this stringer for it. And so putting a nocking point on a bow, this is just in general for any bow. You can get a T-square for pretty cheap. This is an Easton T-square. What you'll do is just set it on your arrow rest level like that, and then put it onto the string, snap it on like that. The 7/16 point is the most general point where most people like to have their nocking point. So I put a little silver mark there, that's 7/16. I've noted here this will be the bottom of the nock and this is the top. You just use my silver Sharpie to make a mark right here at that 7/16, and then we'll take one of our brass nocking points, and then I have an Easton nocking plier. This is if you get it on there and you're not satisfied, you can use that to loosen it. This part here, I use this part to set the nock, and that one to finish off getting it really tight. So I'll just show you how to do that. You want the back side of the nock to be on the back of the string so you don't cut your fingers. We'll just slip, whoops. Let's take this off first. Some people like to put the nock on, just eyeballing it. I prefer to put a Sharpie point on there. That way you can take the bow square off and get it good and centered. So go ahead and crimp it on here. Whoops. Right there. Go ahead and tighten it down. And we'll get it a little tighter. As you can see, I'm a little off there. You can use your loosening tool. Put that point right like that. That'll loosen it up. Then we can go back and try again. Still got my Sharpie point on there, so it's kind of a delicate procedure, but as you can see, not too difficult. We'll put that on, tighten it, go to the smaller circle, tighten a little bit more. That looks perfect. So that's how you put your nocking point on. That we have the nocking point on, I just wanted to go ahead and show you how you would set your arrow when you're firing it. So you can see the nock on the arrow goes right below the nocking point, and that gives you a consistent point on the string to fire from. That'll increase your accuracy a lot. Some people will put another nocking point. They'll put a Sharpie point here and put another nocking point right below there, so there's a specific point. But I feel that putting two nocking points on there just hinders things more than it helps. So personally, I don't like that. But that's how you would fire the arrow.